Welcome back, everyone, to RPG Treasure Trove. I'm Turtle029,
This is Kestorp Alchemy.
Caster here and looking good.
and we're ready to go into this cave, dude. What's
Yes.
in there?
We are in the middle of the Alton Mines. They have been overly flooded. Why? Because there are water monsters in here. They're called living statues. They came to life somehow. And now they're just spewing water all over the place, flooding the town.
They're spitting.
Yeah, they're spitting.
I mean, I guess it's better. They do have some of those statues where it's like the little kid on this. It's the kid statue or whatever, and it's a fountain, but instead it looks like he's peeing.
Yeah.
You know, and that would have been the other options, but they went with the lion head water coming out.
Just
The aesthetic.
puking fluids.
Yeah.
Blah.
So we defeated 2 of these beasts. We got the water level down. Good amount here, but we still have more to explore, so let's go ahead and take a look.
I can't do anything with that, can we?
We gotta be able to push this rock out of the way.
We can't move it.
What?
Move doesn't work.
What? Is there a grab? Is
Catch
there a...
isn't gonna work. Catch is to get things from afar.
Light objects. The boulder is not a light object.
Yeah, boulder is not a light object.
We have a spell to make it a light object.
Yeah.
What can we do? We go punch it?
You could try punching it, but I don't know if it actually does anything. Nope.
Oh man.
What does it specifically say on the
Strike a distant object.
That's what it's for. Distant objects.
So I guess we're coming back here because I don't think we have anything that's gonna move that.
Spoiler alert: we don't have it yet,
Oh.
but we will be back. Make a note of that, because you're
All
gonna you want to know what's in that chest, right?
I do.
We want every chest in the game.
Well, we can go back to that other room now that we lowered the water,
That is very true.
and we can check that.
Fireball.
Let's see it.
Okay.
Last time we got robbed, they
Save-
died.
Save the PP.
Storm Ray.
Wow, 101 damage on that guy. Alright, drop his attack. Yeah, he's stunned.
Paralyzed. Here we go.
Oh,
Fireball.
it just rotates it.
Boom.
He rotates it and just burn him with fireballs.
All right.
It's not the same as Magic Missile, though, unfortunately.
The most classic of D&D spells,
Yeah.
Magic Missile.
Magic.
Apparently,
missile.
it never misses.
I guess. I don't know. I haven't played enough D&D and to remember that.
They had a missile attack as an enemy skill in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Basically, magic missile.
Magic Missiles. Alright, Leah could use a level up for a new spell. She hasn't gotten one in a little while.
I suppose a lot of the abilities that the enemies use in this game are all considered like synergy spells.
Yeah.
And you can get them in some form.
Yeah.
That is something that's definitely very unique about this in this game design.
Uh-huh.
Is you can't have a blue mage type of character that learns enemy abilities, some of them, and can be able to use them against them.
Right.
Most of the spells and abilities they use, you can get them. They're all part of the same synergy spell tree.
That's cool.
The only way to obtain some of them, though, is by swapping your class around.
Yeah.
Equipping different Djinn to get a different class. So even if you see an enemy use it and you never see it on your side, you might change your class up to get it.
Oh, we got jumped right as we're about to
I
transition.
know, right? Get jumped in the doorway.
Stupid Bones, get out of the way. We're trying to explore.
Oof! Stop hitting my weak dude.
Yeah, leave poor Ivan alone.
Look, can no longer look at the bones.
No, we're not looking at the bones.
We destroyed the bones.
I didn't even have to move and I got transitioned.
I told you, it was right there.
It was like frame perfect encounter.
That's crazy.
Oh, there's a minecart there, but where does it go?
Yeah, they're probably. You want to make sure you don't have to flip a switch, right?
I guess we'll just follow the tracks and see where it goes first. Let's take out the slime beastness. Tarantula.
Lots of fighting. We like fighting.
Yeah.
We like
Flawless
experience.
victory. Flawless. Okay.
See, yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's the dead end.
Flip it.
Flip that switch.
Flipping the switch.
We come over here, which brings us up here, and then
We jump over. So let's get that minecart.
and that gets us to wherever that leads.
Yeah, something. I don't know what it is yet. It's been so many years since I played this. I don't even remember what's there.
I've never played this, so I have no idea what's there.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing it on the channel.
That's right.
Yay!
So you would say, Turtle, that this is one of your top favorites of like subgenres of RPG? Because like you have like turn-based RPGs like this, And then you have like your strategy RPGs like Fire Emblem. You have your action RPGs like Final Fantasy Adventure that we played on the channel.
Yeah.
And then you get like I guess Fallout is a turn-based RPG, but it's certainly a different kind of twist on it.
It is. I'm
But-
not sure how you would describe that particular game.
Yeah. But like this kind of RPG is probably one of your most favorite like subtypes or sub genres of RPG,
Yeah, for sure. The
Yeah.
turn-based combat.
turn-based combat. Which is again why I keep going back to you have only played Dragon Quest XI.
I know. It's for whatever reason, like the Dragon Quest series really flew way under my radar.
Yeah.
And when they released 11 as like the Ultimate Edition
Yeah.
with all the extra content, I got it for Switch because I'm trying to, get a pretty good Switch library.
Yep.
Of RPG games specifically, and a few other games that I like, non-RPG wise.
Yeah.
Pretty rare, but yeah, when they announced that, I was like, I've never played a Dragon Quest game, and this one looks pretty good, and I've heard good things about it.
Yep.
So I finally got it. That was the first game that I experienced from the Dragon Quest series, and I really do enjoy it. It was a good game.
Okay. Even though the artwork didn't draw you in right away.
Well, I didn't know that much about the franchise,
Okay.
but as soon as I saw the artwork, I knew it was Toriyama.
Yes.
I was like, oh yeah, so this guy does all the artwork for this game series.
Yeah.
Well, that's just another reason to love it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Toriyama Sensei is incredible.
Ah.
Ah, it's a
Mimic.
mimic.
It's a mimic.
Quick, don't fall in.
Yeah.
Don't fall in. We gotta get big sword on him.
But yeah, I was surprised that you didn't get a chance to really, or didn't get into more of the Dragon Quest games, knowing that this plays almost identical to Dragon Quest in terms of the battle system.
Yeah.
You input all your commands, and then agility wins on who goes first, and that kind of thing. And you just watch it happen. And then you input. Lost Odyssey was the same exact setup.
Yeah.
Lost
Which
Odyssey.
we have to get to for this channel yet.
That's going to be a landmark
Yeah.
game for this channel because it's my channel's named after the game basically. So
Yeah. In so many ways, and we'll get to that. But
what a great game.
it's like knowing that there are games like this that are like Dragon Quest, they're all the same style of battle system. They got their tweaks and different minor features, but like the overall mechanic is the same.
Yeah.
And it's just all those Dragon Quest games. Oh, you got a game ticket.
Don't need a game ticket. We have enough.
20 of them now. But if like Golden Sun, The Lost Age, Golden Sun Dark Dawn, because you had a DS at one point to play that.
I
A DS Lite.
did. I got it to play Pokemon Black and White because I had been out of the series for a while,
Yep.
and I remember seeing the graphics, and at the time I thought, wow, this looks really cool.
For handheld too.
So my brother and I got DS's,
Mhm.
DS Lite. We each got a copy of Black and White. I forget who had what version. I don't remember. But
Yeah.
we played that. Did not play 2. I didn't even realize there was a 2 until years later.
Yeah.
And then I traded it in to get a 3DS, the new 3DS. So I currently do not have a DS console.
Okay.
I'm kind of kicking myself. At the time, I didn't have, the financial income that I do now.
Yep.
So I traded it in to get money to get the new 3DS. And I still have that. That's a great console. I still have that.
Okay.
But
Get him. Swim across. He just keeps going. Look at us take a dip in there.
Yeah.
swim across in the monster puke.
But it's like all these RPGs that play like this, like Golden Sun, like Dragon Quest, that escaped your
Yeah.
collection.
I mean, it's like
All these
especially as a kid,
Yeah.
like I didn't really have an allowance, so I didn't have a whole lot of money to spend, so I couldn't buy stuff. So finally, when I get my job and I'm making money, and you gotta pay bills and that, but you get leftover income.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna, buy some games and stuff.
All right.
And more healing spells. But yes.
It's reached the point now where just a couple of the game consoles I had as a kid that I no longer have, I'm trying to reacquire
Yeah.
just for sentimental sake. Like, oh, a GameCube. My brother had the GameCube and he misplaced it somewhere,
Yeah.
I'm not
so I bought
surprised.
myself my own GameCube. and I managed to get my hands on a Game Boy Player, which I'm very excited to have because I didn't have that as a kid.
Yeah.
I know you did.
Yep. That's how we played Fire Emblem 7.
But I didn't have that. I didn't know that existed until I saw you guys have one.
Yeah.
So after I bought my GameCube, I went out of my way to find a Game Boy Player to attach to that as well. So I'm very happy to have one of those now.
What a great investment.
N64, my brother took. He still has. I have not reacquired one of those for myself.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really have a lot of games, though I did find my games for it. I
Okay.
just don't have the console.
Yeah.
So there really wasn't too many RPGs for that console anyway. But there were some classic fun games that we played.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
at some point I might like to get my hands on one of those.
But eventually we're going to want to get you back into the other Dragon Quest games for sure because,
Absolutely.
you know, Final Fantasy and Square Enix, they've always wanted to push the innovation boundary all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
To the point where they've left turn-based.
yeah,
With
they
Final
went so
Fantasy
far.
16, it's now a true action combat system.
Yeah,
That's like the one thing I like about the Final Fantasy 7 remake,
yeah,
which I have played, to death.
yeah. Right.
I got all the trophies in that game, which I don't typically play a game for trophies, but they made it a point to have an action combat system, but you can also slow it down with more of a turn-based option, which that's the version I played.
Yeah, that's probably the version I would play as well, just because I like that style.
Yes, and it works really well for combat it doesn't stop, but it slows to a crawl,
Yeah,
and you can visually see, like, there's still some slight movement happening.
yeah,
But you get time to, like, sift through your menu and be like, what am I going to do next? It's great, like, in an action sense where, like, you're fighting a super boss, right?
yes,
It's rough. You're like, oh, jeez, he's kicking my butt. You go into the menu, things stop. You
yeah.
okay,
Breathe.
take a quick breath.
Yeah.
What do I have to do? And then you can jump back into it and get at
Yeah,
it. So
right.
I do really like that system. And I hope that they keep using that even beyond the Final Fantasy VII remakes.
Yep.
I would like to see that kind of a system return.
You mean when they do Final Fantasy VIII remake? Well, they haven't announced that. Let's be clear, they haven't announced anything like that.
They have not announced that. There's been rumors about a 9 remake for a long time.
Yeah.
But I keep hearing conflicting information that, like, it's going to be a cartoon. It's going to be meant for kids.
Yeah.
It's a video game. It's not a video game. So I don't even know if it's going to happen.
Right.
I don't think there's been an official announcement, but there's a lot of rumors going around about 9 that's going to be their next project. But I keep hearing conflicting thoughts as to what it is. So I don't know what they're doing, but
Yeah, you figure they're working on something. I mean,
Yeah.
they just did the Pix remaster. They're doing Final Fantasy VII, and they got to do 8 or 9 has got to be one of the next 2 Final Fantasy. Like, hey, let's redo it.
I wouldn't mind an 8 remake.
Yep.
I think the story's kind of odd the later you go into the game. Like, Disc 1 I always thought was great.
Yes.
Disc 1 is awesome. From Disc 2 on, the story just kind of gets weirder and weirder to me, and it
It never
makes
gets back,
less and less sense.
never gets back on track with what makes sense. Yeah.
So I don't know. I wouldn't mind them trying to, rework that and rephrase what it is they were trying to say. Like, I know it's a love story, but
Yes.
there's so much other weirdness going on
It really is.
in the background. It's like, can you guys maybe rework this to have it make a little bit more sense so I know what you're trying to do? And I would love to see them rework the junction system to where it's not as broken.
Yeah, broken and or impossible to understand sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely. It took me a while to.
Dragon Shield.
Ooh. It took me a while to get the hang of the junction system, but once you
Yeah.
understand it, it makes sense. But like the grinding,
Isaac needs it.
the grinding you have to do to like acquire spells,
Yeah.
and 100 copies of those spells, you just draw them from enemies,
Yeah.
and draw them from draw spots once, and you have to wait for it to restore. It's like, oh.
And I
Can
think
that system be reworked to simplify things so you're not just drawing 100 or 300 copies of spells from an enemy to equip your characters with?
yeah.
Can that be retooled somehow?
And then having to use it from the menu and you get weaker because you use it and I'm like, okay, I'll junction flare. Now I'm never gonna cast flare because I want my strength to be as high as possible all the time.
Right.
It's
It's a
rough.
cool system, but it seems like it doesn't work really well.
Yeah, it needs to touch up on its implementation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to see some sort of adjustment to that. You know, maybe you just draw the spell once and you have the spell and you don't have a count, and maybe it buffs your stats, but it doesn't buff them as hard as it would.
Yeah.
You know, that way you can use the spell and not worry about like weakening yourself, but have it not affect it as much as it used to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That game wins easily for breaking the game in 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, you can break the game super early if you do the right thing.
Yeah.
Like I've never played the game that in depth to do that, but I know from people talking about it, you can break the game in the first 10, 15 minutes of play
Yep.
and just wipe the floor with everything and have no difficulties at all. And I don't know if that could have been intentional. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
you play through the game the first time and you experience it, and when you boot it up the second time, you can learn to do this and just totally crush the game and win effortlessly,
Yeah. I would be very interested in knowing if that was indeed intentional or not.
right?
And I don't know if the devs will ever know.
I think it had to be,
Yeah.
because they have so many things in there where you can. There's so many different ways to play and break the game in different ways. I feel like it had to have been intentional.
Yeah.
And you won't know that your first playthrough, but especially back in the day, like before the internet was a thing.
Yeah, I know. Because we're talking like 1990s when the game came out.
Yeah, it was 98,
I
99.
think it was 98 or 99.
Because Final Fantasy VII was 97, I think.
Yeah.
And that was a year or so later.
Yep. So that sounds about right. Yeah.
Which,
Sure.
I mean, to think about the differences in like graphical quality for PlayStation 1 between 7 and 8, they really did a lot of work on.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I wonder if there's a way to retool that junction system so it's a little less broken and it doesn't mess with the magic, or changes the magic system so you don't want to use magic spells.
Yeah. And the game, you have to read tutorials, but I don't think the game does a particularly good job of telling the player, you want to draw more magic in one action, pump up your magic stat as high as you can.
See, I didn't even know that. I
Yeah,
spent time just
I didn't know that.
drawing one or two spells at a time.
Yeah.
It takes forever.
It takes forever, right?
It's awful.
I think it's because it's based on your magic stat compared to the enemy's magic stat. So if you really want something, a lot of it, then you're going to want as many points in the magic as possible. But you have to read a tutorial or something like that in like the classroom that you start the game in or something.
Okay.
There's like this panel that gives you all kinds of tutorials and information, but nobody tells you that. Like, that's a pretty vital piece of information that you don't want people to have to go in and just read a tutorial about it.
Yeah.
You know, find a little bit more ways to introduce that or tell people that right away. Says, oh, by the way, don't forget this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game ticket.
So,
While you guys are chatting, I'm just doing
No, absolutely. Yeah, just keep trucking along.
we like getting on rants like this because it's good conversation. And,
There's a lot to say about it sometimes.
Yes.
So I just want to change that.
I don't even remember what in the world the original conversation was. Dragon Quest. Getting you into Dragon Quest, and how did this escape your view this whole time?
Yeah, we veered off Dragon Quest and went to Final
Yeah.
Fantasy.
Now,
Both series are great, by the way.
yeah.
Both series are great.
Now I know that you didn't.
Ooh,
I don't know how interested you would have been in the original days of Dragon Quest. We're talking like the NES Dragon Warrior games.
Yeah.
But whenever we never got 5 and 6 in the U.S. I don't think. I think they were on Super Nintendo, but I think they were Japanese only games because they keep stuff like that to them. So we went from the first 4, and we skipped 5 and 6, and got the 7th one for PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I do have a physical copy of Dragon Warrior 7
Ooh.
before they officially changed it over to Quest.
Nice.
But even if you played the 5th or the 6th game, it plays like exactly like this game.
Yeah.
You know, top-down views of things like that you would think would, hey, this is exactly your style of RPG. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
And but it escaped you.
Yeah. A lot of things escaped me, sadly.
Yeah.
But, I'm trying to rectify that. Get some downtime.
I got a kiss.
Mwah.
And you turn to Pete Red. Mom and Pop knows something about the bottom of the mine. I wish they'd tell me what it was. Don't be like the one game where you find out there's some alien, because it's futuristic, and if the alien gets out of the cell and he chases after you, and if he kisses you, then you get soft locked.
Oh.
What
Yeah, he-
game is this?
It's some old, like almost like a DOS adventure game or something like that from way back in the day.
Oh,
And
geez.
you have no idea because it just says, oh, the alien just gave you a hug and gave you a nice big fat smack on the cheek or whatever, and it's like ew, and he runs away, and you don't realize it till hours later, and like, why am I feeling all weird or whatever, and you basically just become an alien and you game over. And you have to go back to an old save from before he kissed you.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, well, yeah, how was I supposed to know that? There's
Right.
no indication that anything like that would have happened. We're not going to have this here, right? I always get weird about characters just kissing me out of nowhere.
Mwah. And now you're soft locked.
I forget what the name of that game was. If anyone knows, I'd like to see that in the comments.
Yeah, post in the comments if you know what game he's talking about.
It's a futuristic, like old school. Well, futuristic and old is,
It's it was made a very long time ago, but it was based in quote unquote the future.
yes. So it's like space travel and stuff like that. But I don't remember what the name of the game was, but yeah, that's what I remember. Anytime someone gives me an unwanted kiss,
You
know,
think of that alien.
you think of that alien. I'm like, we're gonna get screwed somewhere, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
We are soft locking any moment.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
So we're trying to escape these mines now, right?
Yeah, because now the town is better now. We defeated all those living statues spewing water.
Woo! Jess, did we ever do anything about that rock?
No, we have no reason or no options yet to deal with it. So don't worry, I'll go back once I know the item
All right.
or ability.
So yeah, this
We'll
game
get there.
This game is sort of like a Metroidvania in that sense. You go back to old areas with new abilities and collect new gear.
Yeah, but it's not really a quest.
No.
So it's not like side quests or anything like that. You just go back at your own leisure if you choose to do so.
I tell you one thing that I struggle with is direction,
Mm-hmm.
and I easily get lost. So I honestly, when we got to the open world part, I was a little intimidated, and I'm not even at the controls. Like, oh, jeez, where do I go now?
You mean the world map when we first got on the world map?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
When I, and yeah, it's a GBA game, but like when I saw the scope of like, oh, you can kind of go wherever.
Yeah.
Where the heck do I even go?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Where do we go?
And once I get there, can I get back? Because
Yeah.
I'll forget how I got where I went and how to get back. Like, I'm bad directions.
Oh, no.
I get nervous when I see that. That's why, like, I typically don't like open world games because I get lost
Yeah.
and I can't figure out where to go or where I came from.
And everything's becoming open world these days.
Yeah, I kind of struggle with that. So back in the day, when
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 13 came out, I gave it a hard time for the hallway.
Yeah, the corridor runner.
But to be fair, a game like that, you can't get lost. So I do appreciate that now that I'm older and my sense of direction has always been atrocious. But not that the game is good. I don't think the game is good at all.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I happen to dislike 13 quite a bit.
Lost Odyssey was the true Final Fantasy 13.
Yes, absolutely. It's a much better game, much better story. They actually tell a story. There's
Get
a
him!
dude.
He's right there.
There's a little dude. We gotta get the little dude.
Which means you gotta fight him too, because this is a hostile environment.
Yes.
But
Oh,
yeah.
you can fight him.
But yeah, the corridor runner, the hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Final Fantasy X was like that too, where it's like you get on, oh, we're gonna get on the Mihan High Road, and it's nothing but just a straight corridor, and you get like 3 branching paths along the way.
Yeah.
You walk down there for like 3 seconds, grab a chest, and get back on the main path.
To be fair, 10 did start that, not 13.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought the world in 10 was a little bit better.
Yeah, they did a lot better job building the world. I
Mhm.
still don't understand the world of 13.
13 makes no sense.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm not really sure what they were thinking with 13, but
Yeah.
the fact that at least in 13.1 they made strides in the sequel to fix that.
Yep.
The fact that the game cannot tell you the story, you have to stop and read these data logs to
Yeah.
figure out what's going on, is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
The game is supposed to tell me the story. I shouldn't have to read novels while playing the game in order to understand what's happening. And even then, I still didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah. I still don't know. I don't know.
The whole foul sea and lust sea and none of that makes any sense.
No, exactly. I feel the same way. It clearly, there's a piece missing.
Yeah. It's not good storytelling. That game couldn't tell a story to get itself out of a paper bag.
I'm not a professional writer by any means. I have not taken classes in creative writing. I could have done a better job.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were thinking.
And I think I have done a better job. I mean,
I think so too.
Castor will have to vouch for that because, you know, he's one of the very few people that have played my prototype.
Is it a prototype? It's like done.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, I gotta finish the music, and you need some artwork.
Yeah, I still need artwork, and I need you to finish the music. But otherwise, it's functional, it's playable.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so, but I feel like I've done a better job at storytelling than what they came up with 13 and building a world.
And you know, I'll give them props. The second one, ow, poor Ivan.
Ooh.
The second one I thought told a better story. At least it was able to tell an in-game story.
Yeah, that much is true.
And I kind of like the combat system where you can, like, you know, recruit a monster.
Oh, see, I hate that.
I thought it was kind of neat. You can switch up your party and what monster's there as to who does what. It was the paradigm system from 13.
Yeah.
They just tweaked it a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of neat.
Yeah, but then all certain monsters are so worthless.
Yeah, some of them are.
So I waste all this time.
Well, there's certain
getting-
party members in 13 that were useless, like Vanille.
I
And
guess
like
I
Hope.
can't argue that.
And like Hope.
Yeah.
And Snow,
Snow.
who I can't stand, is the worst character ever in anything.
Was he at least
I
a
hate
good?
that man.
He was a good combat fighter statistically, but his character is so stupid.
Yeah, his character is so dumb. I want him dead. Still, I want him dead.
Yeah.
But in like 13.3, I couldn't even finish the game.
There it is.
We got Wish.
Yeah.
That's the very all important spell we need.
Yes, that's why it's good to have at least early game to get 4 Mercury Djinn on Mia, because that is our whole party heal.
Oh, full party
And
heal.
there's a battle we'll see in a couple of episodes later. Well, I'll tell you where that's like that difficulty spike I mentioned before.
Oh yes.
And that's exactly where if you don't have this or a means of acquiring it, or it's like other Djinn that might do a party heal, you're in for a bad time.
Ugh.
So,
Well, we don't want a bad time.
no. Anyway, sorry to interrupt the conversation, but I thought that
No,
was fine.
I'm sorry we went off on a tangent. We
Yeah.
kind of let you alone to just play the game while we're off in our own little conversation here.
We're not even paying attention to what Castor's doing over here, and we're just talking about Final Fantasy 13 and storytelling and all these other topics, and like we don't even know what you just did.
No.
Well, 13 grinds my gears and it gets me a little upset, so
Yeah.
I can go off on a tangent with you a little bit. So, but yeah, hey, we're about out of time here.
Is that so?
I want to thank you know, Castor for just carrying on while Castorp and I are in our own little world.
Yeah.
I don't know, just create this pillar and then we'll give this a save.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We'll come back next one.
Well, thank you everyone for watching and hopefully enjoying in our conversation while Castor just runs with the controls here.
I want to see some comments in there about what you think of Final Fantasy 13 and other things that we were just talking about.
Yeah,
What
let
are
us know.
your experiences?
Do you like the 13 series at all? Is there one game you prefer over the other? Would you like to see a Final Fantasy VIII true remake? Not the quote-unquote remaster garbage they gave us?
Yep. And what is your favorite subgenre of RPG?
Yeah, what do you guys like to play? Leave some comments, chat with us. We want to hear from you. It means a lot to us. And I want to thank you for watching this. And stay tuned. We'll see you in the next episode. We got to get through this dungeon still.
That's right, we're still in it.
We still haven't progressed far enough that we passed where your friend stopped.
No, not quite.
All
We're
those
getting
years
there.
ago.
And we'll talk about that when we get there.
All right.
If you guys know the marker point, I don't. So
Mhm.
thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.